Hey everyone, this is a bit of a rant about how some people and some websites seem to have this fear of being perceived as biased. They really want to make it look as though they have credibility, and that by itself is perfectly understandable, but I think sometimes it can get a bit too far. Now, I recently had a look at IGN's top 100 games list. I don't know how many people actually agree with this list, and I don't know how old this list is, and I have no idea how this list was constructed, whether it was a particular person or a group of people coming to a decision or a poll or whatever. But either way, regardless of which way it was formed, I kind of feel like it's not very genuine. I'll explain what I mean. I think there's a bit too much diversity on this list. I'm not saying that I think there's too many different genres on this list, because it's generally a good thing to have a wide variety of types of games to show that does show that you're not biased and that you do have some credibility. But I think in a way, some of the games that are very similar seem rather dispersed and spread out. This makes sense in some cases. If you've got genres where the games, there are significant improvements between games, or certain games have certain meanings and they do things just right in a certain way, that makes sense. And you're going to have good and bad of every genre. But, for example, at number 38 there is Madden NFL 2004. So, by their own admission, IGN are saying that there exists only 37 games that are better than Madden NFL 2004. Every game that isn't on this list, or has a higher ranking, or a lower ranking, a higher number than 38, then that game is worse than Madden NFL 2004. After all, it is a top 100, so each ranking, it does actually mean something. You are actually saying that the previous game is worse than the next game on the list, so that's a lot of games that are worse than this game. Now, I'm actually wondering, if there's only 27 games in the world that are better than Madden NFL 2004, then why isn't Madden NFL 2005 or 2006 or 2007 on this list? Or 2008 or 2003 or 2002 or any other year? I think there might have been another Madden game, maybe like one from 94, I'm not entirely sure how far back it goes. Or it might have been a different series but a similar type of game, one for the Genesis. But if we're talking about Madden NFL 2004, they are saying that it is the best Madden game. And you know what? I have no clue about Madden. If it's the best Madden game, then so be it. Fine. I'm not going to argue against that. I'm not going to argue for it. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if Madden 2005 isn't on this list, then that means it is, at the very best, the 101st best game in the world ever. Meaning that there are 62 games in between the best Madden game and the second best Madden game. That's a lot of games. Considering how similar Madden games are to each other, and FIFA games and all those types of games, considering how similar they are, if we are talking about the two closest together, and also considering how many of these that there are, there's one every year, if we take the two that are closest together in quality, there are so many games that they've placed in between these two games. The example that I will give is Shining Force 2. Shining Force 2 is further back on the list. I'm not going to check exactly what number it is right now, but I know it is on the list behind number 38. So, Shining Force 2, that's worse than every other Madden game. No, sorry, that's better than every other Madden game, but worse than Madden NFL 2004. Doom is number 39. That is worse than Madden 2004 and better than every other Madden game. Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution is number 40. Again, better than every other Madden game, but worse than Madden 2004. And there are some even further back in the list which really am surprised they're so far back, considering how usually they're really high in the list, like Final Fantasy VII. And what else was on that list? Sonic the Hedgehog was quite far back on that list as well. Yeah, I know Sonic the Hedgehog isn't really like usually like a really highly rated game, but still, those games, according to this list, worse than Madden 2004 and better than every other Madden game. I don't know about you, but to me, this is completely unbelievable. I can't believe that it would be like this. I think if you are a huge Madden fan, then you would put the Madden games close to each other. And I'm not going to blame you for being biased if you do put the Madden games close to each other, because they are similar games. Likewise, I am a fan of the Dynasty Warriors series. I just am. And I'll admit that. And, I know that the games are similar to each other. There are variations in certain things, and I do like playing the different games in the series, but they are similar to each other. So if I was to make a top list, I would put them close to each other. It's not bias. It's just a reflection of the fact that I like those games. I don't know where they'd be on the list, but I know they'd be close, because that's just how it is. And I feel that that's more genuine than trying really hard to have all these different types of games and trying to spread them all out throughout the list. It seems to me, it comes across to me as just trying too hard to come across as not being biased. And that's all I have to say. But I want to know what you think. Do you agree with me? Have you seen this? Have you noticed this? And now that I mentioned it, even if you haven't noticed it, do you notice it now? Or do you think I'm talking nonsense? I seriously would like to know. And I think that's it. So I'll see you all next time.